You're listening to this episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. It would greatly benefit the show. Alright, we're going to start with Kyle's story. Go ahead, Kyle.
I had an injury that I ruptured my Achilles at the end of 2021 by running away from being in a picture. It was at 50/50 in the Mall of America Theater before they renovated. And I just didn't want to be in a specific picture, so I ran away and didn't have my shoes tied well, running up the stairs away from being in the picture that was about to be taken up front, and I just heard a pop, walked around on it for a week before I saw a doctor, and they were like, "You need surgery." And I was like, "Are you sure it's not just going to get better?" And the doctor said, "Kneel in this chair." And then he pokes my Achilles as hard as he can. He goes, "That's why you need surgery." Yes, so I have a film-related injury in my life that...
Isn't it crazy how, like, you can have a major injury like that but not know it, essentially? You know? Like, it hurts, but you don't know what you've done. And when you imagine it, you would think it would hurt a lot more.
Sure, and we were talking about my injury because of my boxing today, and I got hit in the head a lot because I was actually boxing with somebody from the film community who boxes at a different gym. I was like, "Come to my gym," but then I had to box much longer. So if I seem punchy today, that's why. People will have already heard our bait at this point. So this is the interview section. Welcome to Movie Baiters with the Farx brothers. I'm Kyle.
I'm Kirk.
And we're here with Greg Borman. We always like to ask the guest first. You're a multi-hyphenate, correct? In the sense that you are a cinematographer, a post-production?
Yeah.
Which of your multi-hyphenates do you like to start with and then go from there with?
Primarily cinematographer. That's
Okay.
my focus.
Do you prefer cinematographer to DP?
Honestly, it's pretty interchangeable for me. Depends on the project. A lot of times somebody else was like, I want it to say cinematographer or director of photography in the credits. And I'm like, okay, either one works for me.
What do you mean when you say it depends on the project?
Well, what I mean is, like, usually I'm not the one who picks.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Your
that's
identity is decided for you by somebody else.
To me, cinematographer and director of photography are the same thing. It's interchangeable.
Like actor and actress.
I
An
suppose
actress
so,
can be
yeah.
either.
Yeah.
Yes, that's how that works.
Yeah, I mean,
Performer.
I guess I don't know how, like, I don't know, I guess, like, Hollywood filmmakers would decide if they want to be credited as cinematographer or director of photography, but I've been credited as both.
I'd like to start with the most recent stuff. Is your most recent narrative stuff the Z-Fest Film Festival?
Actually, no. I shot a film that I was DP or cinematographer for. Yeah, back in May, I shot this movie called Parker, which is a film about a woman who brings home an alien pretending that he's her boyfriend to impress her parents. It's a dramedy. And so that was a weekend 2-day shoot, and I shot that.
Oh, cool. Who did you do that one with?
Director was Carrie Leyland.
Oh, I know her.
If you know her, yep. Anthony brought me on board. Anthony
Hunky.
yep. He's great. So he brought me on, and then, I worked closely with them, and that was a fun shoot, so.
And it's the woman brings home an alien so that her parents will think she has a romantic
A boyfriend, yeah, exactly. And she just kind of, this is not really a spoiler, it's right at the beginning of the movie. She just kind of runs into him on the road, right? He's standing in the road, and she's like, "Oh, perfect, you come with me. You're going to be my boyfriend for dinner." So she brings him home.
See, Kirk, it could happen to anyone. You just gotta...
I just gotta run into an alien on the road.
Or
That's how you do it.
pretend to be an alien when a woman runs into you.
I mean, I'm already alien, illegal. I mean, I'm legal alien right here. Not illegal. Oops.
Kirk and I are
slip,
brothers. Yeah. We were separated at birth. I grew up in the North Coast, and he grew up on the West Coast. Is that the way we're telling
Yeah,
the story
California
these
all the
days?
way.
So what's Parker intended for?
I think they're just going to submit it to festivals. It wasn't for Z-Fest or anything. We didn't have the requirements yet. So, yeah, I think it's just they're going to submit it to festivals, do a festival run.
Cool.
Yeah.
And Carrie is a DP unto herself. So what is it like working with somebody who's also a DP?
It was really great because I was able to ask, her opinion from that perspective and see what she thinks. I was also very scared, I'll be honest, because I've worked with Carrie before, but never as DP director. And so I was like, oh no, she's also a DP. What if she hates my work? But I don't think that was the case. I think we collaborated very well. So
how did you figure that out? Like what's an example of how you went, oh, this is working well.
By the end of the movie, we were just switching back and forth who was running the camera. We were just bouncing ideas off of each other, and we were just going. Like, it was just very collaborative and very positive.
How have you worked with her before? What were you doing if it wasn't cinematography?
Man, 2 years ago, I worked on a Z-Fest film that I shot. It was called Freshman, directed by Zach Crotty. I don't know if you know him. He does a lot of superhero movies.
Oh, yeah, and Carrie's kids were in that. Or
Yeah, her daughter was in it. And so she was there, and she ended up being super helpful just with, like, she's, like me, she's kind of a jack of all trades, I think. So she helped out with lights and everything and, like, wrangling the kids and, like, grip stuff. And that was really cool. And that's when I realized, oh, she knows what she's doing for sure. Like, I didn't know, like, since her daughter was in it, she was there, but I didn't know she was like participating from a filmmaking perspective until that started happening, and I was like, oh, this Carrie's great, like, so that was a lot of fun. And then I worked on another project last winter with her where she was acting in it, and I was gaffer on that one.
What was that? What was it about? Maybe I've seen it.
It was a Christmas movie for the 48 Points Project.
Oh,
He
sure.
does a lot of Christmas movies.
And I'm totally blanking on the title of it. What was it?
Oh, it was one of those like time-based ones, like
Yeah,
48,
it was
but
like the 48, but you get an extra day.
72-hour
Yeah.
film festival. They call it 4 Points, I think it is.
4
right?
points, yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
why is it called 4 Points?
I have no idea.
Yeah, so that one, it was a Christmas-themed movie, kind of a dark twist at the end, a little bit of horror. But I'm just totally blanking on the title right now.
I've
come to you.
seen at least 2 of her Christmas movies now that have dark twists to them.
Did you see the Elf one?
Better watch out.
Z-Fest?
Yeah.
Yes.
That one was so cool. I liked
one's
that one
good.
a lot.
Yeah.
That's where I met your wife, was
Yes.
right after the screen. You guys
Yeah.
were sitting behind us. And what I like to ask guests who are involved in the local community, because you're a professional, correct? You have a professional job as a filmmaker for
I'm a senior video producer.
Okay, can you explain what that means?
Yeah, so I'm basically in charge of producing all the videos that the City of Eagan puts out, working closely with my boss who also does some video producing. I plan a lot of those videos, write them, shoot them, edit them, or I send people out to do those things. And so if you go on the City of Eagan's YouTube channel, tons of those videos I either made or had a big part in making.
What type of videos does a big suburb like Eagan typically need?
We do a lot of event videos where we do recaps on things that go on in the city, things that the city is doing. So we'll be out at events like we have our Market Fest every week in the summer, and sometimes they do special things there that we'll shoot. Like last year, we shot a video about a reusable bag program that they're doing in Market Fest. So just stuff like that, stuff happening around the city. Another recent one we did was on the mayor who got solar shingles installed on his house. And so we did a piece on that and published that. So
Wait, like the shingles themselves are solar panels?
yeah, it's a new technology where it's way less intrusive than getting like the panel installed. They install it with the shingles. There's these big solar shingles that they install, and they look way more aesthetically pleasing. You should check out the video. You'll learn all about them.
Oh, I actually will, because when my wife came to take the picture with us, she found some nails the roofers had left here. So we just redid our roof and probably won't be doing it again for about 10, 15. Have you ever had to do that? You own a home, right?
I do. I have not had to redo my roof. It was redone right before we bought it.
Oh,
so
nice.
Super lucky. Yeah.
So what I wanted to ask you about Z-Fest is, how would you describe that to somebody that doesn't know what it is?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Thank you. I like to think I'm good at this.
Well, I've only been doing Z-Fest for 2 years, but I would say it feels like a collaboration amongst all the Minnesota filmmakers. Like, even if you're not working on more than like one project, which a lot of people work on multiple Z-Fest projects, you're still part of this like bigger picture, which is like everybody making films for this one moment where we all get to go watch them together, and I think that's really cool. So yeah, I would say it's like a collaboration among Minnesota filmmakers.
How many did you work on this year? Because you were on
4.
Like,
Yeah,
4.
I did
Okay.
4 this year.
Do you remember the titles of all 4? You don't have to remember Element of Pugilism, because that's the
We
one
got
we
that
worked
one.
on.
Yeah,
Yes.
I helped you out with that one with the audio. Yeah, I worked on Steaks with Vanessa. That one was really good. I was a gaffer on that one. I think I'm credited as best boy. But I worked closely with Luke Junk, if you know him. He was the cinematographer. Love working with that guy. I worked on All You Had to Do and Terms and Conditions as cinematographer. I worked on Steaks as best boy. and I worked on an element of pugilism.
Yes.
Which
I've
one
been
is it?
saying pugilism to screw with people.
I worked on an element of pugilism as audio editor.
So you were the DP for All You Had to Do and Terms
and Conditions.
Terms and Conditions. I'm pretty sure I saw both of those. Tell me about All You Had to Do?
Yeah, so All You Had to Do was kind of a drama about a family getting together for the mom's birthday, and they realize that they all have these burdens that they're dealing with, and then they sort of overcome that. And so it's a little abstract where the characters physically have these burdens. Like one of the main characters physically has a boulder that he has to carry around that represents his depression.
Anthony Hunkey's
Yes.
that person who got you on the... Okay.
Exactly, yep, he's playing that role. So
Lisa Evanson directed that.
she did, yes. That was my first time working with her. She was a lot of fun to work with. That was a pretty, I don't want to say casual, but like pretty chill shoot. Like not a lot went wrong, and it was a lot of fun. Everybody was kind of on the same page, so that was good. It was just one location. We shot in an apartment that somebody involved with the production graciously let us use. And yeah, we were able to shoot, I think, all the scenes in different rooms in that apartment, so that was pretty great.
I thought it was a house when I looked at it, so that's great.
I think it was like a duplex. Like we were on the top level, so...
Oh.
Yeah, so we had to haul all the gear up there, but it worked out.
You had to shoot a baby.
Say what?
There was
Yes, there was a baby.
Crazy.
There was a baby.
Crazy.
You filmed a baby, not you
Yes,
pointed a gun and
yes.
let it go at a baby. How did the baby cooperate? Because I've filmed with, I'm not going to say filmed instead of shot with.
Yeah, so if I remember correctly, we shot all of the baby scenes at once. I believe it was the second day. And all of that was in the living room for the most part. So the mom was sitting right off camera in a chair so she could watch her kid. And we just put the baby on the floor and let the baby play with stuff and did a few takes and used the best one. So it was pretty easy, honestly. I think we had to take a couple breaks. I think the kid had to take a nap at one point, and then we went back and shot a couple more shots. But I think it was pretty easy. It wasn't that bad working with the kids. So
That's fantastic. And Terms and Conditions. So I know I saw All You Had to Do. I'm trying to remember Terms and Conditions.
So Terms and Conditions was a horror film about a woman who buys a house and it's haunted by the spirit of a little girl.
That one, yeah.
And then this little girl is kind of chasing her down throughout the house. I guess I could say more about it, but I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah. And what are you typically shooting on? Did you own your own gear, or are you renting for all these?
I own my own gear. I shoot on Sony. I currently shoot pretty often with my A7 III. I like that it's small and compact, and I can throw it on the gimbal when we need to do moving shots. If I rent, I'm usually renting a Sony FX6. I also work a lot with Blackmagic. But these Z-Fest films were, I think we shot all three that I worked on were shot on Sony. The two that I DP'd, we shot on my A7 III, and then Steaks was shot on an FX6.
Okay. And what kind of gimbal are you using?
I have a DJI Ronin SC, I think is what it is.
I find gimbals to be frustrating to shoot with often. How do you keep it from, fucking up, for lack of a better word?
You got to balance it properly.
Okay.
And once you do that, you're golden.
And it just works because I've seen people balance it for a while and they maybe don't, I don't know how to balance a gimbal. It's not something I've done, but I've watched people do it.
I mean, like anything, with practice, you just get good at it. Like, I could probably balance my gimbal in 30 seconds. It is tricky. It's very finicky, right? But and if you change anything with the weight on the gimbal, like if you add something to the camera rig, even if it's just like a mic pack or something, you have to rebalance the whole thing. So you want to make sure you have everything attached before you balance it. And then like I said, you're good to go.
Do you use it a lot at work?
Honestly, no. Yeah, I don't use my own gear at work. We have separate gear. We do have a gimbal at work. I think it's a Ronin S. I don't use it that often because most of the stuff I shoot is either handheld or tripod.
Got it. A lot of interviews?
Yeah, we do a lot of interviews. If I'm out in the field, I'm usually locked down on the tripod doing pans and stuff. Handheld footage has its place, but oftentimes I'm just on the tripod because it's just documentary style. We do a lot of like wide shot of, people out doing this thing, like I used Market Fest as an example, like at the Market Fest, and then we'll get a close-up shot of somebody's booth with all the vegetables or something, so it's like pretty simple. We don't need a ton of camera movement, so we don't use it that often.
You mentioned you write the things you shoot for work. What does the writing entail versus like just getting there and...
It's usually an outline and interview questions. So we'll have, okay, here's the story, here's what we want the video to say, and then I usually work backwards from there to write the interview questions. Oftentimes I'm working with other departments in the city, and if they have something specific they want the video to say, they'll tell me that, and then I'll write the interview questions in a way so that we get that answer out of them, so then we can have that in the video. So it's often writing the outline of, here's the visual, here's the audio, and we go down the list, and then we write the interview questions to get all the talking points that we need.
Got it. That makes sense. How do you feel about going from, would you consider that to be like an industrial, it's a commercial? What would you consider your work, your 9-to-5 work to be?
I think about it more like documentary style, because a lot of the stuff that we put out are like small vignettes or pieces on individuals or departments or a specific thing that's happening. We do some kind of advertising for our events. Like last year, we made a series of videos for our Lake Fest event and posted those to try to get people to come out for it. But most of the stuff is after the fact, kind of a story telling about what happened. So yeah, documentary is what I'd consider it.
Because Eagan has like a big media department, don't they?
Yep, we have, I guess it seems big. There's only 8 of us, but...
I guess I've been to the Eagan Art Block Festival or something, and there's like an annual film festival, right?
There is, yeah. We run that at Eagan TV.
Oh, exactly. And
that thing goes through Eagan TV?
Yep, we run that. So I'm an employee of the city, right? I work for the city, but the department I work in is Eagan Television, which is in itself part of the communications department. So it's very layered. But yeah, Eagan Television, we run that festival. So
okay, yeah, I saw like kids do like a documentary or like something about their internship, and that's how I got to see what the media center looked like. And at the time they were doing, this was before they were in the movie theater, they were doing it in like a church on a TV.
Did you go that year?
I did go that year.
So you were there, that must have been like the first year. I wasn't involved with it then. That was right when it started. So it's evolved a lot since then.
I've heard.
How long ago was that? Do you remember?
I do not remember. I just remember my wife and my mother saying that they enjoyed the movie a lot more because previously they had only seen it. It was a Z-Fest movie in like the forums leading up to it, and it had a lot of special effects. So like seeing it with the special effects, they were like, oh, okay, now this makes sense. And my father was very, my adopted father, because Kirk and I are brothers, said, this is not my taste. And I appreciate that he knows that and can articulate it. Mm-hmm. That's one of the few things I appreciate when it comes to those types of things. The reason I asked about working your 9-to-5 versus like, you see it as narrative is what it sounds like to me. Mm-hmm. And then so making the jump over to the outside the 9-to-5 narrative stuff like Z-Fest or 4 Points, and then you shot something for a film festival that, where's the delineation to you, or is there none?
Yeah, it's kind of a gradient. Like I view it all as filmmaking, right? But I think when shooting like narrative stuff specifically outside of my 9-to-5, that's a lot more collaborative and a lot more creative because you can make a lot more decisions about lighting and composition and stuff. Whereas the stuff I shoot at work is often very run and gun, where you don't have the opportunity to do that. Or I'm not the one shooting it, because since I'm a producer there, I'm not always the one filming. Oftentimes, I send out some of our wonderful part-time staff to shoot footage, and then we use that for the edit.
That was a great advertisement through like the wonderful part-time staff.
Oh, they're fantastic.
You've never gotten stuff back and been like, we gotta do something different here.
It happens.
Sure.
I'm not going to give specific examples.
No, I was not going to.
It happens. It definitely happens. But our part-time staff are great. They love what they do, and they're really good at it. So.
Well, I hope they hear this and hear you praising them. What training did you have? Did you go to college specifically for film, or?
Yes, I went to UW-Stout out in Menominee, Wisconsin. My degree is called Entertainment Design with a focus in digital cinema. That degree does not exist anymore.
Very fancy.
Why not?
They changed it to a more video production focused degree, which I think is good because it looks like now they're learning a lot of skills that I felt like I kind of missed out on when I went there.
Such as?
They're doing a lot of studio production from what I can tell, and this is just from what I've seen on social media, but studio production, it looks like they're doing more with lighting, more like filming techniques. When I was there, it was take this DSLR camera and just go shoot something, and that's it. And then you go do that, and you learn by doing, which is great, but I definitely felt like I missed out on a lot of things I could have learned that I ended up teaching myself, particularly lighting and honestly technical things, like the technical aspect of using film equipment, I didn't have a lot of training on in college.
So you're talking about like 3-point lighting you had to learn on your own.
We learned that the basics, right? We learned that. But what I remember is we didn't have a ton of opportunities to implement that kind of thing. Like you would learn about it, but then it was up to you to figure it out on your own when you were shooting, which maybe is a good thing, but like I could have used some more structure, I think is what I'm trying to say.
Did you have to design your like own degree? Like how did they define credits? Like this is the intro to filmmaking class.
So at the time, the major of entertainment design encompassed filmmaking, which they call digital cinema. I think they wanted to really differentiate it from like film, like it's digital cinema, right? Because that was like newer, I guess. But there was that, and then animation, and then actually comic books and sequential art was the other one. And so all three of those were the same degree with different focuses. And so the first 2 years, we were all in like the same classes, like drawing and painting classes. And then you kind of branch out into your focus after that, is how it was structured.
Do you read comic books?
I do. I actually went to Stout originally for the comic book design major, and I sucked at it.
Why? Why do you think?
I could not keep up with the workload. Like, I don't know how much you guys know about the comic book industry, but it's very tight turnaround times and very intense. And I had a wonderful professor who wanted to emulate that for us so we would know what it would actually be like.
Wow.
And so I was pulling all-nighters like 3 times a week to get the work done. And eventually I was like, I can't do this. Like, this is not for me. Because I at the time, I was a very prolific artist. Like, I was doing a lot of drawing and painting. But I'm a very slow artist. Like, I'm very particular, and it takes me a long time to get something done. And that did not work with that workflow. So my advisor at the time was the head of the cinema department, and he was like, you should take my class. And I was like, I can't take your class. There's like all these prerequisites that I don't have. He's like, no, it'll be fine. You should take it. And then I did, and that's how I got into filmmaking.
When you mentioned the Robert Rodriguez book to me, and it's funny because he's got that story in there about how he's at, I think it's UT Austin, and he didn't have the grades to get into the film class. Then he beat the other students at a film festival, so then he got to take the class. Was how it worked. It seems like you have a similar thing there. Are you from the Minnesota, or are you from Wisconsin?
Okay. I'm from Minnesota.
But you went to UW?
Yeah.
Because of reciprocity.
Because it was cheap.
Hell yeah, brother. That's why I went to my college. Do you know the thing about Stout, right?
When in doubt, go to Stout.
Okay, I wanted to.
Of course, I was in doubt. I went to Stout.
But it sounds like you were interested in comic books.
Yeah.
And you wanted to be like working for Marvel or DC or Image or
So to clear things up, I didn't want to go to college. I was like, this is stupid. I'm just gonna like do my own thing. And my parents were like, no, you can't do that. So we found that Stout had these interesting degrees, like the comic book program, and that's how I got into that.
What are you reading right now for comic books?
I don't think I'm reading anything right now.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Got to get back. So the library is how I read all my comic books. Isn't that how you read yours?
Yeah, but I'm not a big comic book guy. So.
What?
Yeah, I'm not.
I thought I've been telling people we're big comic book people.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've owned only like 3 comics, I think. Some Spider-Man, and then like Last of Us, American something.
Wait, there's a Last of Us comic?
Yeah, there's a Last of Us comic book.
Okay.
That eventually got turned into a DLC for the video game.
I don't think you actually. Wait, I actually don't understand what DLC means. In
Downloadable content.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you play video games?
I do. Yeah.
What do you play on?
Mostly PC.
Okay, so
PC
you're one of
Master
those
Race?
guys.
Yeah, I have a Steam Deck too.
Nice. Wow, all right.
Do you play PC games? I thought you were just
No,
like
I'm a console guy.
Honestly,
I have a PS5.
I kind of wish I was a console guy right now because there's all these games coming out that my PC can't handle anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Like I bought Oblivion Remastered and it barely runs on my computer, and I'm
Dang,
like,
really?
oh, whoops! I should have done more research before I bought this.
That is very irritating. Although isn't there something where they're upscaling PS4 games on PS5 or something like that? Or no, it was somebody was on the show telling us you could play a PS5 game through the digital marketplace on the PS4. I don't really understand this. I don't play video games. I do read a lot of comic books. So when you say you wanted to go to school for comic books, do you know Nick Polatichuk? He's in the local community, and he is a comic book maker as part of his...
I don't think I do.
Okay, he... advertisement for St. Paul Filmcast. This is a reminder for us to make an ad after this.
Right.
Yeah, he's a comic book guy, filmmaker guy, and a teacher.
Oh, cool.
What was working with Kirk like on Steak and Steaks? Do you remember him
That's where
there?
we first
I do.
met.
I mean, I didn't get to work with you very closely because I was doing my thing, you were doing your thing, you were on sound, I was on lighting, but I remember it seemed like you knew what you were doing, so I was like, okay, great, I don't have to worry about audio.
How many people were on that set?
Few
I don't know.
maybe 2 for lighting at least, because you had an extra hand, right?
It was mostly me and Luke, I think,
Oh,
that were
yeah.
doing the lights, and then, man, for that, maybe we had like 15 people total,
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know.
huge to me. Vanessa was saying at a MBWTFB thing, not maybe it was last year, like, I like small crews, and I think our conceptions of what a small crew are different. Like, we had Justin Jones in here, and he's working on a feature with 6 people.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I shot a feature a couple of years ago, and we had 5 people were the main kind of collaborators.
What was the feature?
It's called Naked Shakespeare.
Hot. Oh, wait, that was it the Hamlet one? Who was working on that? I think I might have heard of that
Luke
one.
Langfeld was in it. Joy Ford was in it. Jack Swagger. Deft Pictures is producing it. And then Josh Sibley of Deft Pictures directed it. It's still in post-production.
Okay.
Very much looking forward to it being finished. I'm working on the color grade, so
Oh, you're working on the color grade now?
yeah.
I would find that very tedious is in the editing workflow, but do you as a former comic book guy find it to be an artist guy?
Absolutely love color grading.
Why? Explain it to me.
So there's just something about being able to pull the best things out of an image that I really enjoy. And also there's a lot of crossover with my experience with comic books and art because of the color and the light and the way you can kind of adjust those things. Like I learned a lot through painting in college that I bring into my color grading workflow about like hues and saturations and lights and darks and all of that kind of thing. And it's that kind of, I guess, skill set or that kind of eye that I have for that I think really helps with color. And so I really enjoy it because of that. I also really enjoy that other people don't like doing color because that means I get to do it.
That's
Fair.
fantastic.
Yeah.
We've worked with Luke, we've worked with Jack. I know Joy. I knew her brothers first. So yeah, that sounds fantastic. What was the Sony camera you said you shot on? I'm going to relate this back to painting, and you're not going to believe it.
A7 III.
A7 III, because I told you I was at the gym at the beginning of this segment and getting punched in the head, and there was a guy there working on a Minnesota Arts Board's grant. He was filming boxers because he was following local businesses, and he was going to use all of his footage to create a painting. Like he captures the footage and then makes a painting.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yes, and I me being the person I am, I couldn't help pitching him. So like, you must play all this footage at the installation next to the painting, so that it's like, because have you been to an art show?
Yeah.
It's not the thing I would seek. I would rather go to the movies than anything else. But having been to enough of them, if there's free wine, cool. But like when you have the mixed media of, hey, this is a cool painting, but look at how he got there with this footage I thought that was an interesting part of his process.
I love that kind of thing. I love mixed media and like finding creative ways to create art or create images that you don't see very often, which is something they do in Mandy a lot, actually.
Oh,
We'll
and
talk
people
about
will
that.
have heard our debate by this point. What do you do anything in any of the projects you've done in the past couple of years with mixed media?
Not super recently that I can think of. Well, okay, so I shot and directed a documentary back in 2021 called Mudanza Set Me Free about a local artist, and we did some interesting stuff with that where she basically created this, man, how do I even describe it? She created this giant piece that was like a room you could walk into with walls made out of paper, and it was all ink blot kind of drawings that she had created. So a lot of butterflies and things like that, like a picture like a Rorschach test type of thing, right?
Yeah.
And we shot a lot of footage of her creating these things and getting messy with the ink and pouring it on her hands and stuff. And then in post-production, I did a lot of like overlay effects. So it was like, there was ink like flowing across the frame and everything to kind of become like this dreamy representation of her thoughts and her experiences. So that was really cool. I think that's the best example I can think of. I used to work on a lot of experimental films back in college. I was super into that, and I did some crazy stuff for that.
When I always get a little nervous when people say experimental film. I imagine like, I don't know, running around naked
Yeah,
while
a lot of
holding
nudity.
No.
Mostly, I was imagining nudity.
No, it's art. Like all film is art, right? But there's a type of film you can make where the film itself is a piece of art. You know what I mean? Like it's almost more like a painting than a film. And I created this film. It was my senior thesis film for my college degree, called Susceptible, which was about 3 different characters struggling with mental illness. And it was this very visceral film where there was no dialogue, and you had to watch these 3 characters suffer in different ways, and you kind of experienced that with them through the sound design. And we Foleyed the entire thing, and we did all these crazy practical effects. Like, I made my buddy Jack lie down on a bed, and I poured black goo on his face that I made out of like Kool-Aid and corn syrup and stuff. And like, it was just very gross and very visceral, and no plot to this whole thing, right?
Who cleaned the bed afterwards?
I did.
Oh, okay, cool. So you knew it was soluble and you'd be able to clean it easily.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. We put a tarp down too. It was fine. But
Got it. Okay.
yeah, like, it was just this super weird thing, and my goal was to like gross the audience out as much as possible, which totally worked. I remember just sitting in the front row, like smiling because I could hear everybody like gasping behind me as the film played. So yeah, experimental filmmaking. You make a feeling, right? You make art. You make like a piece. It's not necessarily a narrative.
Okay. I think I pinpointed where my hesitation comes in, but I appreciate where we made tossers 4 years ago for Z-Fest, and that's, not art. So
What is that? I haven't seen that.
it was a disc golf movie that involves cryptocurrency. It was well shot by our former brother, returning champion, but I do not think the humor was...
Oh, he shot that?
What?
I didn't know Nick shot that.
Yeah,
Oh.
he might have even... I think we even got some folks paid on that movie out of the cryptocurrency the producer was...
Be more, but then
I'm not
I'm
here
not
to...
giving a comment on it.
I'm sure there will be more of everything when AI comes to take over us all. How often do you get to the movies, Greg?
Not as often as I'd like. Maybe about once every couple weeks.
That's pretty good. The average person goes to 2 a year.
Wait, what?
The average person goes to 2 movies a year, according to a
Really?
study from like 2020. This might even be pre-pan.
Oh,
It's
I've
like
never heard that.
yeah. Imagine going 6 months and then seeing what's the last movie you saw in a movie theater, just to date the date.
I went and saw that new Wes Anderson movie, Phoenician Scheme.
Oh, I loved it. My brother did not.
I did not love it.
Ooh.
I
Okay,
mean,
for another time.
yeah. What did you think?
I liked it better than The French Dispatch, but I feel like there wasn't enough story for me to follow.
Yeah, it was hard to follow.
Yeah.
That was my biggest issue with it. Like, visually, it was great, like as all his movies are. But yeah, I felt that the story was a little bit disjointed, and it didn't really come together the way that it could have.
Oh, it spoke to me. It was like he was doing an action spy movie, but in the Wes Anderson style. And so that, like I always find him a little twee and irritating. And actually, your director you worked with, Lisa Evanson, we plan to at some point do an episode with her on the Grand Budapest Hotel, because that's the movie she picked. So we have those notes ready to go. And then we saw the Phoenician Scheme in preparation for that bait, but we had to move it back. But I'm excited to do it at some point, and I look forward to my brother having to argue the negative of Phoenician Scheme. But now I have a taste of it, so that's exciting. Where do you want to go in like 5-10 years with your career? If you don't mind me asking on this interview that's being recorded.
No, that's okay. I mean, my goal, I would love for my career to be able to shoot narrative movies as a DP. That's what I want to do. Narrative and or documentary. I like both. If I could do that full time and get paid, I would be, that'd be great. That's what I want to do. So in 5 years, I hope I'm doing more of that and getting paid to do more of that. That's always my goal. I'm trying to work my way into doing more of that, but we'll see.
Well, to wrap things up, Greg, we always ask our guests who you think we should have on the podcast.
I guess I don't know everybody that you've had on the podcast or everybody that you're planning to have on the podcast.
You haven't listened to every episode of the show and checked the notes? No, I'm just kidding.
I've listened to a couple. I listened to the Sasquatch Sunset with Adam.
Oh my God.
That one was great. I loved it. I am also a believer in Bigfoot, so I was very, very happy to hear that.
Have you seen that movie?
I have not yet.
Oh God, I am a big fan of it. Most people are not. That's what I've come to learn. See, Adam thought that was an art. Was that an art film to you, as a person who's
I
made?
haven't seen it.
Oh, that's right.
seen
Yeah,
it.
So I
sorry.
can't say.
Have you seen the trailer?
Yeah, I think I saw the trailer. It was, They
I don't
did
think
a
the
lot of
trailer does it
grunting.
justice.
There's no dialogue. Anyways, as someone who's usually got an aversion to art films, I'm the one who's like, yeah, I like the new Wes Anderson. I like the one where the Bigfoots didn't talk.
Maybe you like them more than you think.
Maybe, but I also like Fast and Furious a lot. So I guess we will take a name of anyone and then hound them with this episode to be like, hey, now you got to be on. So if that helps you answer.
Did you say you're having Anthony on?
We haven't had Anthony on.
You should have Anthony on.
Anthony Hunky. We got.
He's great. Yeah.
I do not. I was giving him shit at Z-Fest. I hope he doesn't remember this because he was sitting by the door on the floor for I can't remember which block. And then in the next block, he was sitting in a chair. I was like, oh, this must be an important one because you're sitting in a chair. And I can't remember why. It was actually funny because he was looking towards Jared Crooks, and I like to think he was watching Jared Crooks watch the Z-Fest movies. I don't know either of these gentlemen very well, and I'm making up stories about them while I'm at, a film festival. So maybe I'm the one with the problem. But Greg, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for being on.
Thanks for having me.
What's our next debate? It's
the next one people will hear.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Jurassic Park or Jurassic World. Jurassic Park 7, Jurassic World. We'll have done that by
returning champion Nick Michael.
Theoretically, former Farx returning champion Nick Michael will be here to follow up on the first episode of Movie Baiters with the Farx Brothers about Jurassic 7. We had an in-depth argument about...
Yes, it was our first episode.
Yes, whether David Leitch or I can't remember the director now of this one.
Edwards?
Yes. Who I argue David Leitch would be better because I like his movies a lot.
Wow, is that our longest standing bet? There was a bet in that episode, right?
Oh man, now we're going to have to go back and check. This is
Ready,
great, rambling it.
The only Jurassic Park movie I've seen is the first one.
What? No, that's correct.
Yeah.
That's
Stick
correct.
with that, yeah.
That's the only one I want to see.
You could watch Fallen Kingdom.
That one's good.
I wouldn't.
I like it a lot.
I wouldn't call it good, though.
You're eating, it's like, this steak is a little dry or something, because you're getting to see dinosaurs.
Is that why you're eating steak? I wouldn't call this movie steak. Okay. It's a lot.
What would you call it? Like, as a food?
As a food?
Yeah, what is Jurassic Park as a food?
No, Jurassic World.
Excuse me.
Fallen Kingdom. It's like lower tier fast food. I don't know. I don't want to call any fast food chain out.
Lower tier fast food. So how do you like tell the difference between the different fast foods? Like, what's lower tier fast food to you? I'm glad this will be your
review
segment.
I don't usually go to that much.
Well, yeah, that's the healthy thing to do. I try to limit myself to once a week. I went twice last week, and I felt terrible.
My lowest tier...
Describe the type of food. Don't
like
say
Burger
the place.
King. Nobody eats Burger King, right?
You saw a Burger King bag when you came into the Mank-Ave today. Because the last time I was in here, I was like, Mrs. Farx, guess what? Because I call her Mrs. Farx on the off days. And I got to go get some Burger King on my one wheel, and I did.
Did you say Mank-Ave, like Solar Opposites Mank-Ave?
Yeah.
That's where you are right now, my friend.
I love it.
I hope you keep all of that.
That's it. Just gonna stay in there. Bye-bye.
How long did we go? 35? Sorry.
Thank you for listening. For more JK Productions, find us on Instagram at JK Productions Team and on Facebook, JK Productions MN. Join us next time for another debate.